In fact, those are the ones who succeed over and above, because, what is resilience? It is not, having been born rich or, whatever. Yes, I was lucky enough to be born with not the proverbial silver spoon, but the proverbial golden spoon in my mouth. But there is a stigma attached to lunacy,
even
to schizophrenia, to psychotic.
Even smaller things like anxiety or stress.
So the T, it might come last, but it's most important.
Yeah. And it's a threefold thing, right?
Absolutely.
Transparency, trust and teamwork.
Absolutely.
One leading to the other.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
My father, when I got married, my mother had already passed on when I was 12. And my father gave me some money and other stuff like land and stuff. Now, I had given almost all of it. I just held back 50,000, which I then invested in stocks and shares for my kids. I had only two at that time. That was Tahira and Adil. But everything else I gave to my husband to bootstrap. And everything that I was earning was just going into raising the family, because when we came to Saudi Arabia, the Indian rupee was not convertible. It was a worthless piece of paper outside of India. It didn't have any value.
Okay.
And our names, my family name Martin, like it was very commonly said, you use that surname, you ask the lamppost, they will tell you who that is. Similarly, my husband's family name is also very well known, especially in Bombay, But it meant nothing in Saudi Arabia in 1981. Today it means something, and that is because of the hard work we put in, But it is, we are talking 44 plus years later. Yeah. It takes time to build. But as I was saying, everything that I earned went back into the family. Because I only knew this. My parents didn't tell me that we were rich. In fact, they concealed that from us. So I thought we were average. I didn't think that we were something special, Now, that was a good thing and a bad thing. Why was it good? Because it taught us to be humble and remain grounded.
Yeah.
Why was it a bad thing? Because we never understood how to make that money work for us. And there's an old saying, a fool and his money are oft parted. And if you don't know what you have, you don't know how to protect it.
Absolutely. So I think financial education
is very important.
Very, very important.
Extremely important, and especially for women.
Was it different in your husband's family, the way he was raised?
Oh yes. I call them badiyas. They are an entrepreneurial family. They've come up similar to you, from down, they worked their way up. My father-in-law was the entrepreneur. He really did whatever he did and put the entire family on a different, level. But they really were taught every day how to make the money work for you. I mean, like, I used to literally get so angry with my husband when he used to play Monopoly with my kids. Because he would keep changing the rules and making up the rules so that they could never win. And I realized today that that probably was a very good exercise, indirectly, because the world doesn't give you anything on a silver platter. You have to work hard for it, and as my father would say, you spend the first half of your life working your butt off to make money. And the second half of your life, you will work even harder to protect the money you've made from all the thieves who want to take it away from you. So, moral of the story is,
that's
it doesn't
life
matter.
101 right there in like 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like my Harvard professor then said, in Africa, there's a tiger that wakes up every morning and knows it must outrun the deer or it must go to sleep hungry. And there's the deer that wakes up every morning in the same jungle and knows it must outrun the tiger or else he'll be very dead.
Yeah.
And the moral of the story is, it really doesn't matter whether you're in the first half of your life or the second half of your life. Come sun up, you better start running and keep running, because it's the here and now. Every day matters.
Wow.
If you're not moving forward, you don't have to run 2,000 yards ahead of everybody. But if you keep that little bit ahead, you will always be ahead.
Yeah. One of the questions I wanted to ask you while I was driving to here, right? And I was thinking, one of the questions I wanted to ask you was like, what keeps you going? You've seen so much, right? In a profession, in entrepreneurship, and you're still so energetic that you want to, it's like as if you have this curiosity in your eyes. It's like, I want to learn, right? What keeps you going? It looks like this kind of thing, sun up, you have to run.
I had a very philosophical conversation with my son yesterday.
Okay.
And he was saying, there are 5, the conversations about intelligence, there are 7 frames of intelligence. That's old hat now. Now we're talking about wealth. There are 5 different types of wealth. One type of wealth is actually financial wealth. Cash, gold, property, whatever. Yeah. The second type of wealth that is there is mental health. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have that something, call it curiosity, call it whatever you want, but if you don't have that fire in you to get up and run each morning, and the confidence that even if I'm going to fall down, I'm going to pick myself up and run again, you're not getting anywhere. That's wealth. That mindset is wealth. The third one is health. We've all heard that, health is wealth, health is wealth.
Physical health, yeah.
Physical health, the ability to get up and conduct your day, it's important, it's very important.
Yeah.
Without that, how far are you going to get in life? So that's also wealth. Don't squander it.
Yeah.
We all take our health for granted. And then we wonder when we get to the tail end of our lives why we haven't achieved anything. So that's another type of. The fourth one, it might also be, equated with mental health or otherwise, it's faith.
Spiritual health?
Spiritual health. If you don't have, you do your best and then you leave the rest to a superpower, to a God, to a set of values, to karma, whatever you want to name it. It's not important.
Yeah.
Call it religion, call it anything, but you have to have that faith because it takes you through the uncertain times.
Yeah. Dr. Sara, I want to share a story here for the audience and I'm not that I'm telling you anything or teaching you anything. I just wanted to share it for the sake of the audience here about faith. There's a village street and a bullock cart is running at full speed on that street, and there's a man walking down with a heavy load on his shoulder. The bullock cart stops and the guy is a friend. He says, "Come, hop on, I will take you because I'm going to the same place where you're going, so hop on." So the guy says, "Thank you very much." He sits on the bullock cart, but he's still carrying the load on his head. And the guy tells him, "Why don't you just put it down?" He says, "No, I want to carry it, this is my load." He says, "The bullock cart is carrying you. It can carry the load as well. There is no point in carrying it." That's exactly what faith is all about. If you think that you can put yourself, if you can surrender yourself to something that can carry you, that's your bullock cart. Put the load on the bullock cart.
Yes, that's the wind beneath your wings. You can travel faster with that.
Yeah.
And then, so we've gotten through four.
Yeah.
And then finally you have what you would call family, society, support, friends, relationships.
Yeah.
That's also a kind of wealth.
Yeah.
And everybody is focused only on the money. That's only one part of it.
Yeah.
You could have all of that. And I go back to my childhood and I always come back to say, yes, I was born with the proverbial golden spoon in my mouth. And everything that money could buy, I had. I never even had to ask for it. My first pen was a Montblanc. It came directly from Frankfurt. My first geometry set was a J.C. Stedler. My tape recorder was a Grundig. We had a vacuum cleaner in our house.
Back in the 60s. Wow.
So, anything that money could buy, we had. But after my mother passed away, I understood the value of what money can't buy. Anything that money couldn't buy, I didn't have. I couldn't buy the support.
Do you now?
I don't ever try to buy anybody. I learned that the hard way in my childhood.
No, I'm saying, like you said, anything that money could buy, you had it, and anything that money couldn't buy, you didn't. Do you have that now?
I do have quite a lot of those things now. I mean, and that is actually the reason for my continued entrepreneurship. Now, what I keep saying, this is probably my last startup because I am 70, which is a unisex salon and wellness hub. Why do I want to do this? This is for myself. This is not through persuasion. This is because I want to achieve for myself and I want to give back to the community. This journey that I have made of 70 years has given me insights and wisdom it would have been so much easier for me to just cut and run in 1989 when I discovered my husband was cheating on me. That broke me. I'm a psychiatrist, yes. But plumbing the depths of depression, I did then. Because it was a relationship that I had, banked on as something that would take me through my twilight years. And it broke me. But it was not just my children and the sense of responsibility and everything that made me pick myself up and, build myself up again. It's because I have 2 daughters, and it was not just my mother's teachings that helped, but I have 2 daughters, and I had to ask myself, if I allow myself to fail, what is the example I'm setting for my children? It was very hard for me to be the good cop and the bad cop. Boys, and you would understand this.
Yeah.
If you have a boy, if you have a son and you have a daughter, it's not the same.
Yeah. I have 2 boys.
The sons will challenge you from day one. You tell them, no, you can't do this, and they look at you as if, make me. They don't say that, but it's writ large on their face. And statistics show that a son raised without the influence of a father, a present father, usually winds up a very weak person. And don't forget, I'm the psychiatrist, so I know the data.
Yeah.
And I was damned if my son was going to become a nobody. So I had to learn to be the good cop and the bad cop. I went with him for Boy Scouts.
You were his father and mother.
Everybody else came with their fathers, and he had to come with his mother. So I always had to do better. I had to do better than all the fathers so that he didn't have to be ashamed of me. I mean, it was a tough job. I was on the school boards. I mean, when it came to shotgun shooting time, I didn't ask to have a go. All the macho males, the Americans, they were all shooting the clay pigeons and everything. They didn't ask me. At the end of the whole this thing, they said, would the little lady like to try her hand? I said, sure. I mean, they were so patronizing. So I said, sure. So then they brought me a towel and they tried to ward up my shoulder and stuff. And they said, you only need to nick 4 to get the badge. So I said, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I said, I don't want this towel and stuff. I'm not going to be, the recoil can be really hard. I said, I know, I'll try. So I put away the thing and I said, okay, let it go. So this was on the Oman Army, Royal Oman Army's, clay pigeon shooting range. So they started. I got 7 out of the 10.
Wow.
And I also nicked 1. So I got 8 really. So when I got past the 5, so then they said, so you've done this before. You didn't tell us, you're a dark horse. I said, you didn't ask.
You assumed.
And my son was jumping around. He felt so happy, that he could brag. Bragging rights are important. And, just to give credit where credit is due, I learned shotgun shooting. My mother was weird, as I told you. She wanted us to learn shotgun shooting. We did that with one of her patients on the Rajputana Rifles range. So that's where we were trained. So yes, I can shoot. My uncle was also, my uncle meaning my Poopi's husband. He was a Bihari Christian. Roswell Sukh. He was the IG of police Bihar. So we learned pistol shooting on the police range. We learned strange things. She also felt that we should learn martial arts, so we learned judo.
Okay.
So yeah, if somebody tries to attack me, I might be able to throw them. Using their body weight as a counterweight, so on and so forth. So we had, as I said, very myriad sort of learning, and it stood me in good stead. There was one time in the bakery where the sewage tank was blocked up and it wasn't working, and I'm really particular about hygiene. But that was one time, I said, okay, drain the liquid, we've got to get this fixed. Because bakery, it's important.
Yeah.
I put on overalls and gumboots and I got into that sewage tank. And we fixed it.
Wow.
I couldn't have done that if I hadn't been doing the gobar.
Exactly. See?
And then I went and had a real good long bath, hot water bath, and I made sure that I washed myself off with Dettol and everything.
Of course,
but
But the willingness to be able to do that.
It wasn't
courage.
the willingness, the guts,
the courage, the guts.
The guts to do that.
Yeah.
To be not faced by that challenge.
Yeah.
Most of the males in my employ will never dare to speak in front of me. Because they know if they turn around and tell me it can't be done, I will show them it can be. And they'll be the ones with pie on their face.
When you look at entrepreneurs today, especially the young ones who are, aspiring entrepreneurs, right? Where do you think they can do better? In which aspect of thinking? Where do you think are they lacking?
See, there is no get rich quick. There are no free breakfasts in this world. They weren't there then, they are not there now. What is there is, when hard work, smart work, ability to pivot, opportunity, and the willingness to apply your skills to the situation presented. Everyone's heard about IQ, everyone's been hearing about EQ. People are only beginning to know about AQ, adaptability quotient. You can sit there and complain that you didn't get the right cards, or you can adapt to the situation and play the best game you ever played with the cards you got dealt. The ability to adapt to a situation. You're never going to make it if you're going to sit there and say, oh, I don't have this. I have a situation on my hands today where I've paid for this amazing location. Okay? But I haven't got possession. I need to be starting up by second week of November. I can't move the needle in the areas that are out of my control. But I can move the needle in the areas that I am in control. So I will go the other way around, do all my planning, do all my drawings, keep everything ready. I will even tell my builder to start with the joinery, so that literally the day I get possession, I am ready to go.
Absolutely. And I want to tell the
This
audience...
is not the only way you can touch your nose. You can touch it like this too.
Yeah. You know, before we started this interview, there were all huge, like big sheets of paper that we have put over there because she was working on those drawings and the architect. That's
right.
This one. Can you tell us a bit about the new venture that you're launching now?
You know, this is what I said. I want to do this for myself, and I want to give something back to the society, the community that we live in. Before, I had the responsibilities of my children, the responsibilities of making sure the wealth transfers to my children, because I was only the keeper of that. I didn't earn that. So I never felt that I had the right to spend that. I didn't. Whatever I spend is what I earn myself. Now, what is this concept? Everybody's new buzzword is longevity. Why longevity? Because we've broken the glass ceiling. The average lifespan is no longer 85 or 90. It is going to be 100. We're looking at an aging population. People are going to be living to 100. Think back to that introduction speech that I gave at Toastmasters. Do you remember? I said, I would rather slide to my grave with a glass of champagne in my hand, laughing merrily. I don't want to live to 100 or beyond if I can't go out on my own 2 feet. The quantity of life is not important, the quality of life is. So when you're talking about longevity, the reality is everybody is living to 100, but are they living it well? Some of us are, some of us aren't. And what I am doing here now is I've got the regular salon services, because how you look is very important.
Absolutely.
It gives you self-esteem. It gives the person who's looking at you a sort of an opinion of you. They're more favorably disposed if you look good. I mean, over the last 4 years, I've shed about 35 kilos. I'm tired of having carried that baby, burden. And it makes me feel so much better. I mean, my whole mindset changes.
Yeah.
So I've put in actually a wellness advisory. Of course, I've got your regular salon services, laser, nothing invasive. I don't believe in invasive. I mean, I don't think that you are getting healthier because you've got Botox and, a few implants or whatever done.
Yeah.
That is not making you feel, I mean, it will temporarily make you feel better, but not really. What will make you feel better is, we talked about the 5 wealth.
Yeah.
5 types of wealth. Yes, you've got to have money. I will get people in from time to time. There's going to be a space over there where, and we are looking at, as I said, an aging community. People are going to be coming and going from there, from Dubai, and most of them who are coming in are older people. Yes, there might be billionaires, but they are older people. And remember what I said? What money can buy and what money can't buy?
Yeah.
You get lonelier as you get to the top. Children have their own lives. They also don't understand where you're at because they have their own challenges to face. Yeah?
Yeah.
I have a space where anybody who is a member of RA, which is the unisex salon and the wellness hub, can come in. They can sit down. There will always be herbal teas, detox type of teas all the time. You can come and take it. You can sit there. You don't have to be lonely. There'll be other people there. Sit there and talk to them.
You're creating a community. And a space for them to
interact.
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do there is I will vet the people, not be an influencer. I will check them out myself. Don't forget I'm a doctor. If you're older and you suddenly need to go to a doctor for something or the other, you're anxious. You're really anxious. Am I going to the right one? Is he going to charge me a bomb? Are they going to advise me to do something that's unnecessary? Most other countries in the West have got support services, advisories, wellness advisories where you can go, and every elective surgery, you can go and talk to them, call them brokers, call them whatever you want. They will tell you which person or place to go to where you will get the maximum services value added for you and within your budget. They will also advise you what kind of compromises you will have to make if your budget is lower. They will also come and handhold you so that your stress levels go down. That's what I aim to do there.
Wow.
So I will give them that support. Plus, I will bring in the people I've vetted on a rotationary basis. There might be a yoga teacher, alternative medicine, alternative therapies as well, energy healer, a chiropractor, a homeopath. All of those people I will get on a rotational basis, and they will come in there and they will speak to you, they will bring in slides, they'll do a spiel, they will tell you what they know and how they dispense their kind of care. I will bring in nurses who can advise you on what you can do. Simple thing. When you take a bath, how much do you think about your bath? Not a lot.
No.
It's just a chore that you do.
Yeah.
But if you're mindful about your bath, and you make it a point to scrub between your toes and your armpits and your belly button and behind your ears, you will have better health.
Wow. Really?
Because those are the extremities and the places where bacteria breed and you get problems.
Yeah.
And then another thing, you remember when we were kids? I mean, you're much younger than I am, but I'm sure that you went through the same kind of upbringing, the tough one. Every time we used to be told, Murga ban jao.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And funny thing, you pull on your earlobes gently, not pull it, but with a little bit of pressure, it improves your memory.
Yeah. This is the reason why there is a culture, like tradition.
And you do this, it prevents you from pulling too hard.
Yeah.
You can't exert too much pressure if you've got your hands crossed.
In the south, when they, especially I've seen this in Tamil Nadu, where when they go to Ganesha temple, they will do this and they do sit-ups in front of Ganesha. Yeah. So it's part of this was taught in school as a punishment given to us, and it has meaning.
It improves your memory.
Improves your memory.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think it's much better. A chiropractor, half your problems come from your spine. If there's any curvature to your spine or it's misaligned, you have a pinched nerve, you will be suffering and it will affect all other parts of your health. You don't need to. I'm an allopath. What allopathy has become today is an extremely good diagnostic tool. It's become idiot proof, you know. But the form of treatment is very invasive, continues to be, and it really, they will cure the symptoms while creating some other problem.
Yeah.
There was a particular movement at one point in time, somewhere in the 40s, early 50s, where a particular company with vested interests had all other alternative forms of medicine disbarred from practice, which is why alternative medicine, they were all named charlatans and quacks, and they were not allowed to practice. So the information and the studies and the knowledge was also not passed on. Those cures are, you know, so outlandish, some of them, but they address the entire body. It's holistic and it doesn't give you side effects.
And they treat the root cause.
Absolutely. They don't
this is so important coming from a doctor, that I think this is like, this has been talked about a lot, but now it's coming from an authorized person. And I'm
so
glad
this is
that.
what I want to bring to the community.
Yeah.
And you listen. And there is no extra charge for that. You are a member of this wellness hub. You pay up front at the beginning of the year. For the rest of the year, it's yours. Come and go. Because people in Dubai all travel. Anybody who's anybody disappears for 3 months in the year. At least.
That's true. Yeah.
You know. So I don't believe that they should be, you know, paying on a pro rata basis, because it doesn't make the business viable and it doesn't make your payment viable. Why should you pay for a service that you may not be able to access? So I intend to put it out at a very reasonable price. And if you're here for the whole year, take advantage of it.
So when
if you're not, the price is not going to be so prohibitive that you're going to feel the pinch.
Yeah. When does it start and where's the location?
The location is in Imperial Avenue, downtown, very accessible, and make sure we have parking so that they can have parking. And it's a residential building, so I would think that that's a residential area as well. So there will be a lot of people. But anybody who decides to come in to this can also park with peace.
I'm glad you mentioned parking, because people usually don't mention that. Parking is so important. Every time I have to go somewhere, the first question I ask is like, is there parking? Right?
Yeah.
Now, you said that
unlike some buildings where you'll have to scrape your car to get up the ramp, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not what I would call a highway, but it's not bad. You have good parking.
And when is it coming up?
I want to be up and running by the second week of November.
Okay.
But it's touch and go. We are sitting in October now, and we are already on the second week, and I haven't got possession as yet.
So let's say by the Christmas time, definitely
Anyway, I will
there.
have it up and running.
Yes, by Christmas.
And I need everybody's prayers to make this happen. Prayers not for the implementation, that is my responsibility and my team's, and I promise you we will be there. But prayers to make sure that all the authorities, Dubai Land Department, the fund that manages Imperial Avenue, Kaizen, all of them get together and magic happens and they get me that Okud or title deed or whatever it is that I need to get the ball rolling.
Brilliant. Our well wishes and prayers with you. Dr. Sara, thank you so much for taking our time and sharing your journey. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I'm so glad that you graced us with your presence on the podcast.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to share. Human beings were not meant to be a rock in the middle of the ocean. We were meant to be interactive. We were meant to be gregarious. So I'm always happy to be part of a community.
Thank you so much.